Ramble.
We have to talk about you for a minute.
Oh, please.
This is the first episode. I am aware you are a Leo male. This is your first week back.
Yeah.
So you're a married boy.
Ooh, married man.
You got married.
My hand is so heavy.
You are married to a woman.
Yes.
You finally did it.
I'm married to a real live human breathing creature.
Woo!
You know, I'm thrilled that you started like this because I was going to say the pressure of starting episodes of Guilty Pleasures. Hello, welcome.
Hello.
Where I have to do a quote and then Garrick laughs.
Yeah.
It's gotten to me.
And I go, oh no.
Or you go, what?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember that line.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's gotten to me, and I am thrilled that we can just kind of hard launch our soft launch into episodes.
Yeah.
I
Right.
did give you this week's quote.
Welcome to Guilty Pleasures.
You're married.
Welcome to Guilty Pleasures, the show that loves what it loves. Each week we talk about the under-celebrated, the underappreciated movies out there in the cinema universe. Today we're talking about Cocaine Bear,
Yeah, we
the
are.
new...
Coke that bear. And we're not talking about
Cocaine,
the
that white
Coca-Cola
girl.
polar bear. We're talking about the
That
cocaine
Snow.
bear.
Tell
That
'em.
Hillary Clinton.
That Hillary, that Molly, that
No,
white girl.
No, not Molly.
That's
Not
for any new
Molly.
friends joining, but for old friends, yeah, what's up? I'm married now.
You're married.
Take it.
That
And-
Hannah Montana.
Garrick, we've moved on.
Okay. I'm sorry.
And actually, let me tell you that the first thing that I have done as a married man,
Cocaine?
separate from my wife now, is the first thing that we have done separate is that I went to go see Cocaine Bear.
Yes.
Oh,
we
man.
got
What a way to start a new life.
We got home
5
a couple.
o'clock on a Thursday with your
Yeah.
pals.
Yeah, we got home a couple days ago from the mini moon and all that, and
Your wedding fucking
So
ruled.
yeah, it was
So
a good
fun.
one.
What
I
good
had
time.
a gay old time.
Yeah.
I was with my pals, Ricky D. Smith over there.
Talk about
his
Cocaine
wife.
Bear, Kelsey on the dance floor. Am I right?
Oh my God.
Oh no, my treat! I just dropped my treat on the floor.
Dust
Hey
it off.
yo.
Just as a person.
You are the embodiment of high on life.
Yeah, baby!
Yeah.
I'm convinced that if we were to cut Kelsey open and snort her innards,
Yeah.
we would
Yeah.
see things.
Yeah.
that
You'd be
shouldn't be
very
seen.
high.
You'd be very energized. Your wedding was so fun.
Yeah.
We danced.
We danced until 4
I
in the morning.
still have a bruise
Oh
on
my God. Kelsey just revealed her foot on camera.
There's a foot
No free
on my
feet.
lap.
No free feet.
No free fees.
Yeah.
But look, do you see that bruise?
That's from, wow.
Your friend stepping right on it.
Hell yeah.
I made out with one of your friends.
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
I did.
Oh.
What's his name?
Don't answer that.
And then Kelsey saw him smoke a cigarette and said, "We're done here."
I said the
done.
pussy is closed.
That's
Wow.
the deal breaker for you?
That's so crazy.
7,000%.
The most mundane thing.
Disgusting, out of touch.
Yeah, the first drug,
Dis-
if I'm not
Yes.
mistaken.
I would rather suck
So is-
Donald Trump's dick
Wow.
than
Well, so
make
you-
out with a smoker.
So it is.
Yeah.
What an awful image all
Yeah, what a
around.
horrible time.
Yeah.
Yeah, tell me about
Are
it.
you saying that like cigarettes are just too tame for you?
No, I'm saying they're fucking gross.
Okay.
If
They're
you had,
so
if you
I
had-
tried.
if you
I
had
tried.
Vape's
vape-
starting to fall under nicotine. I'm done.
Well, you hear that, guilty whores? If you want to
Fuck
bag
me.
Kelsey. Now, normally we talk about movies on this show, and then we devolve. Today we've started
Started devolving.
Yeah.
And
But
then we
today we're
started.
talking about Cocaine Bear, the new Lord and Miller joint, directed by Elizabeth Banks. It is based on a true story.
Wait, what did you just say? Lord and Miller?
Yeah.
Who's
Yeah.
that?
Phil Lord and
about?
Chris Miller.
Oh,
The
okay.
goats
I'm
of
sorry.
Hollywood, my dude.
I pointed it out when we were
Dude,
watching the movie.
I was not listening to much of what you were saying.
I was screaming it.
Yeah, that's why I was like, stop screaming. We're in a theater.
Oh no.
What if you gave a bear cocaine?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cocaine Bear stars a bear who ate cocaine.
That's
Yeah,
it.
he did.
It's all
She
you
did,
need
excuse
to
me.
fucking know. It's the 80s. This is loosely based on a true story, and the true story is that in the 80s there was a bunch of cocaine that
Fell from the sky.
fell out of a plane, and a bear ate it and overdosed and died.
Yeah.
No, I think the bear snorted it and they immediately killed the bear. I'm going to look it
Fact
up.
check that. Miles gonna get us some fun facts for the end of the episode.
Yeah.
It was either murdered or overdosed.
Damn.
Either way, tragic tale.
Poor bear.
But this movie says, what if that bear became an 80s slasher icon?
Yeah.
And we are left with a glorious bloodbath starring a lot of fun and unfamiliar faces. We went on a little fam field trip yesterday
Yeah, we did.
to see this movie.
Yeah.
It
Did
was
you
a delight.
notice how many people were looking at us yesterday, the three of us?
No.
Not because we were on drugs,
Wow.
because
but-
we're...
but I think so many people recognize
Why'd you have to
us.
qualify that?
Oh.
That makes it seem like we were definitely on heavy drugs.
We
Yeah.
were all on drugs.
Well, we were
Yeah.
on tame drugs.
We were on tame drugs. Zach and I did edibles, and it hit immediately when the movie finished.
Cocaine bear. Where do you guys want to start? I mean, Kelsey, I think you
You
of
had the
us,
best
you
time.
loved it the most.
You were.
I said this is a perfect film. I was shocked when I saw the trailer for this. I was like, "How stupid!"
Yeah.
I can't believe a studio wasted money. This CGI cocaine out bear looks so fucking dumb. I ate my words like a bag of cocaine.
like a bear.
Like a bear.
You ate your words like the 5 snacks you bought.
Yeah.
Okay,
She bought
I accidentally bought.
of snacks.
I bought
a large popcorn.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nerds,
peanut M&Ms.
Didn't even make a dent in the popcorn.
Nope, sure
peanut
didn't.
M&Ms, a bunch of crunch, the
Yep.
nerd clusters.
Yep.
What are they? Like nerd
Nerds
bites?
with like gummies underneath.
And Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
And a pepperoni pizza.
And a pepperoni
a
pizza.
large Coke.
Yeah.
And a large Coke.
That cola.
You are a fucking bear.
I was a cocaine bear. And when I sat down and got the vibe of this film, I saw directed by
Elizabeth Banks.
Elizabeth Banks come up and I went, oh shit.
Yeah.
I think I judged this film incorrectly. I
it's
thought
got
I was
some
just going
pedigree.
out with the boys to make fun of a film. I thought you were sending me bullshit memes that said it was 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. Again, I'm not falling for your tricks, kids.
Hilarious.
It was genuinely at 100%
It was
when we saw it. It's
genuinely-
not anymore.
What is
Yeah.
it at now?
It's like
69.
72.
No.
Oh, it's 69?
It hit 69.
Oh, okay.
I think it was a fantastic, fun, indeed cocaine enraged film. There were so many surprises. I was genuinely scared. I laughed. I ha-ha'd.
Yeah.
ha-ha'd.
We
Yeah.
had some good chucks.
Yeah, we had some good
The cast
chuckles.
fucking acts their titties off. They
Yeah.
believe this script 100%. The CGI, I'll forgive it.
Right.
I forgive it.
CGI was bad.
Sure. But
It's a low budget ish movie.
I had the best time. I completely misjudged this film, and I think it's perfection.
So my first pleasure actually is the opposite of you,
Wow.
which is that I am so happy that a movie called Cocaine Bear is in our lives.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
to that, I tip my hat to...
Hit.
I tip my hat
Yeah. You got to tit your hat.
to Lord and Miller, who Kelsey went, huh? Who? Phil Lord and Chris Miller, who I think are the goats of Hollywood right now. They are the writer-director duo behind Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs,
Boom.
the Lego Movie,
Never
Boom.
seen either of
21
those.
Jump Street.
I saw that one.
Boom. 22
And-
Jump Street.
that
22
one.
Jump Street. They didn't direct that one, I don't think.
I don't think so, but
and
they
they
were
also are
involved.
the producing geniuses behind Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Oh wow!
Oh,
What
yeah.
a plethora.
They
Yeah.
have
These
a
guys are incredible.
fucking
Diverse
docket.
portfolio.
Portfolio.
Also, The Last Man on Earth, great TV
Yeah.
show. What
Fantastic.
I love about them, I mean, so much. I think just as filmmakers, they are as good and as funny as it gets. But I think that their brilliance lies actually in taking ideas that people go, there's no way that can work, and going for it.
Yeah.
So when Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs came out, people were like, why the fuck are they making this movie?
Yeah.
And that's a movie we should cover one day. They
Is
put
it as good as
so-
Puss in Boots 2?
It's better. Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs is
You agree?
yeah. It is
Oh my
top
God.
tier, phenomenal, incredible. Lego Movie
Never
made
seen
me
it.
cry.
Better than Puss in Boots?
And yes. And Lego Movie was a
Puss-
movie where they go,
Puss
why
in-
is anyone making this?
Puss in Boots 2, it would not exist if those other two movies
Okay.
were out.
And
or
Spy-
if they
and
hadn't come out.
Spider-Verse,
Spider-Verse,
right?
obviously.
Cloudy with a Chance of
But if Phil Lord and Chris Miller weren't around, the perfection of Puss in Boots 2 wouldn't even be close. It would just be like nobody would even care or even try to attempt it in the first place.
Oh, and let's also give a shout out to Clone High, the
Yeah,
great TV
Clone High,
show.
they're bringing it back.
They are.
Yeah.
I was like, there was a second where I'm like, how do I get into that writer's room? And then I'm like, that's not going to happen.
Look at Ask.
Well, I know, but then whatever. So Chris Miller actually came to the BuzzFuzz
Yeah, they
back
did.
when we were there. He did a talk, and it really stuck with me
Yeah.
because they were talking about The Last Man on Earth was a TV show that had just come out, and their whole philosophy. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you want to say it? I
No,
love it.
go for it. Yeah.
Well, the thing that stuck with me is that they said right now, when you are making film or TV, you are competing not just with the current releases, you are competing with everything that has ever been released ever.
It is the most haunting sentence I have ever heard in my fucking life.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all.
Like Zach said, it is stuck in my mind because I was like, oh man, I love that the things that I'm writing are inspired by Lucky Number 11. And then I'm like, fuck, I'm competing with Lucky Numbers. I'm competing with Everybody Loves Raymond.
Accessible.
And it's because of streaming.
Accessible. So he goes, why would you watch our show when you can go watch The Wire or The Sopranos or I Love Lucy or fucking Cheers, right? So he's like, in this streaming age, we have a deficit of attention. You are competing against the greatest media ever created at any given moment. So how do you stand out? Be really fucking weird. And it just like a lightning bolt went off in my little baby dick. In my brain. It made me so happy.
Your little baby dick.
Let's move on.
Ugh.
I'm a married man. Please don't think about my penis.
That's right.
Wait.
It just titillated me. And I just think it's such a great philosophy of, I mean, it's one of necessity. It's the only way to stand out.
And they wrote this?
No. So Cocaine Bear was a spec script, which is also just something delightful.
Yeah.
A guy read this story, I assume on Wikipedia, and said, what if? I believe it was on the blacklist, though I don't actually know. And Lord and Miller found this and said, fuck yeah, let's make a movie called Cocaine Bear. And here we are.
Wait, so they produced it?
They
They produced it.
Copy that.
Yeah.
So to me, like, that is my first pleasure.
Yeah.
Them and the fact that we live in a world in which a weird, crazy movie called Cocaine Bear exists. Because that's stupid.
That's
and
so
I
stupid.
love stupid stuff.
Yeah. And it worked. It was stupid and it worked.
It is truly one of the dumbest premises that I have ever come across, and I think covering it on this show is absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
for sure.
because it's so much more than a bear that gets into bags of cocaine. There are so many stories and relationships and friendships in this ensemble.
It is quite a big ensemble film.
Yeah.
I don't know if you would call her the true lead, but you've got Kerry Russell, who every time she came on screen, Garrick just quietly went,
bad. So bad.
She was fine. She was like the epitome of like 80s hot mom onesie jumpsuit.
Absolutely. She is Stacy's mom.
Yeah, like coiffed hair.
When I hear the song, that's who I'm thinking.
Stacy's mom.
what is she for you, Kerry Russell? Is it Americans or what is your love
Americans.
for her? Yeah.
Yeah. I have seen maybe a season of that show, and I need to finish it because
I hear it's so good.
it's so good. There's a little story about that. The guy who came up with the idea and the creator of it was, I believe, in the CIA or the FBI, one of the two, working as a spy, or I don't know what he was. He was working as like spy intelligence or like counterterrorism or something like that. And then he made this show, came up with this idea, and then they paired him with a showrunner, and they're like, oh, well, I mean, let's just have this person show you the ropes and figure out what type of show you want to make. And then the showrunner came back to the studio maybe like a month in, and he was like, he's got it. He's got, like, we don't need me at all. He can do this himself. So on the second season, he like took over, and then it became the show that it is.
That's sick. I just remembered one more story about Chris Miller when he came to BuzzFuzz. So I like ran to be in the elevator going up to the 4th floor with him and Zay. And so I'm like in the elevator and it's quiet for a minute. And I'm just like, okay, this is it. And it's like, 30-second elevator. So I just turned to him and I'm like, hey man, I just wanted to let you know, like, Legos are the reason I started making movies. When I was a kid, I had a Legos movie maker kit, and like seeing your movie and seeing this Lego movie just come out, like seeing Legos in a movie, it just was so moving and meaningful to me, and the message by it. And he's like, oh, thank you so much. And then there's quiet, and Zay Frank, who was our boss at the time, just goes, wow.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's so fucking rude.
That's rude.
Bad.
And just was like, You really took your shot there. And then,
Ew. I fucking hate that.
Ew.
Like, this is just shit that people do in the world where I'm like, they do that to make
Why-
themselves feel better.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's
what
like
do you
so
get
fitting because it's
out
like,
of
yeah.
making someone feel like shit? Like,
Good
what
story, though.
boner? Ew.
So Carrie Russell is
You
a
thought
mom.
she was the center?
Sort of. She's one of them. I
Yeah.
mean, she has her daughter
It's
go
the
missing in the
kids.
woods, who is, what's her name, from the Florida Project.
Yes.
Deidre.
Her name is Dee Dee in the movie.
Yeah.
The kids go missing in the woods. There's a cocaine bear. You also have Alden Ehrenreich,
Yep.
whose name I can never pronounce, former Han Solo, as the son of a drug kingpin, played by the late Ray Liotta. Them and O'Shea Jackson are going.
Who is Ice Cube's son?
We all knew that.
I did it. I did it. I
Just
lost
look at
my-
it.
Yeah, look at it.
Look at it.
Exactly.
I went, did they like digitally alter Ice Cube to
What?
look like he was in the 80s? Like, I was so confused by my
Did
own
they
brain.
digitally alter Ice Cube? Did they cast Ice Cube and put him in a?
Yes. That's
80s
and I
movie.
went, did they like reverse age people? Because you also said Carrie Russell to me, so I was like, Carrie Russell? Like, is she like playing her younger self? I was very confused by my own brain.
Oh my god!
Don't do drugs, kids.
Don't
Okay.
do
Yeah.
drugs. Wow. Interesting.
Anyways, that's Ice Cube's son.
Yeah, it's Ice
I
Cube's
thought
son.
his story was more the central narrative
Oh,
story.
their story. I mean, their story.
It's
They're
better.
introduced first.
Because
Yeah.
the idea is you have all these people who get wrapped up in the lost cocaine strewn throughout the forest. Obviously, the bear being the one that's hunting down all the cocaine that's been dropped across the forest. Then you have this mom whose
addicted.
daughter accidentally finds it and then does a little bit, which was my favorite pleasure.
a
is that
little
they-
bit. She did a mountain.
she put a
of it.
whole mouthful
They-
of cocaine in.
They take
in
a
the
knife,
bodies.
they cut open a bag.
These are
You can't-
children.
This is a note I have for the show. You
9-year-olds.
can't, as a sub note, talk about an incredible moment and expect we're going to move on. If you're
Oh.
going to introduce a kid
Okay.
doing
Yeah.
cocaine,
Yeah, we've
Incredible.
got
We have to
talk about
full
a kid
They
stop.
doing-
fully let a kid do a cocaine in the movie.
'Cause,
Well, I didn't
I
want to
mean-
give it away in case someone's going to see it.
I mean,
Listen.
it's a
Okay,
spoiler.
whatever.
Spoiler alert.
I think it was so adorable.
Yeah.
Because they were first off, they're the best parts of this movie.
Yeah.
The kids are the like
Naive as fuck.
so clearly above the
Yeah.
rest in this like narrative. But the way that they do it is so cute. They take a knife, cut the bag of cocaine. First of all, they're having this whole conversation about how he would sell one of the boy kid, whatever his
10-year-old
He's like
child.
9,
Yeah. He's like,
He's like,
"Nah,
I've done it.
I've done it.
I've been out on the
He
streets."
said, I've been out on the streets. I've been selling it on the streets. Me and Dirty Rick. Or
Yeah,
some shit.
and they're like, and the girl's like, "Oh yeah, okay. If you've done it before, then do some." And he's
Yeah.
like, "Okay."
how much do you do? Like a tablespoon?
And
Like
she
like a
takes
tablespoon.
a scoop of
Uh,
the cocaine, and
with
she
the
goes, "Well,
knife.
how do you do it?" And he goes, "You eat it."
Yeah.
And she eats a spoonful of cocaine,
off a giant knife.
and then immediately like coughs it out,
Yeah.
which is hysterical. And then he does a spoonful. So you have children on cocaine.
Yeah. Which I
And-
think was a missed opportunity because they never.
Underexplored.
They didn't
Yeah.
go as hard as they could have.
I wanted to see kids coked
I
out.
wanted
You
to
got
see a
the
coked out
post
kid.
nasal drip moment that he goes, my nose is really runny. Like you get a couple moments and then he's really hungry later on. But
There's a very funny to see this movie in a crowd, which I highly recommend. It's a movie about
Yeah.
a cocaine murdering bear.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you hear pockets of laughter from those like, oh, they've done cocaine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, they've
They've
done
done
it.
cocaine.
You
There's
done it.
another people-
immediately-
But the greatest moment is during the tablespoon, when he said like a tablespoon, and hearing a couple people yell out, "No!" That was so fucking satisfying.
It can be intimidating going to a wine store and looking through the hundreds and hundreds of bottles to find what you need. And you know you're going to get to your friend's house and you're going to be like, ooh, what is this one? Why'd you pick it? And you're going to be like, I don't know. I liked the label. If you're like me, you're a dummy. You could use a helping hand when purchasing wine. You need First Leaf. Here is why. As America's most personalized wine company, First Leaf takes the guesswork out of the wine selection. Never again do you just have to pick the best, coolest sticker. It's easy. You just take their short quiz and rate the first few wines they send you. That's right. They're going to send you wines. You're going to drink them. You're going to go, I like this. I don't like this one. they're going to put a profile based on you. It's fun. It's exciting. You're getting wine sent to your house and you're learning about what you like. Sign up today and you'll get your first 6 bottles for $39.95 plus free shipping. Go to firstleaf.com/guilty. That's TRYFIRSTLEAF.com/guilty to get your first 6 bottles for $39.95 plus free shipping. Try firstleaf.com/guilty.
But so you have these kids that are like coked out, and then my favorite storyline was that it's the drug dealers themselves who hear about the coke that got lost, and they send their little minions to go pick it up.
Right.
And the minion also, they send the drug dealer's son who like wants nothing to do with the family business.
So real quick on the structure, I've heard this movie described as Rat Race meets an 80s slasher film.
That's perfect.
Which is a really, which by the way, Rat Race.
We should do Rat Race.
Fucking Rat
Let's
Race.
do Rat Race next week.
Join us next week.
We're
doing Rat Race.
Yes.
We're doing Rat Race and Wild Wild World. Let's do both.
It's a mad world.
Mad world, not Wild Wild World.
Yeah.
I was
Wild
thinking
West,
of Wild Wild
though.
Country.
Wicked Wild
Wild West is a great movie to do for this podcast.
We're doing a double title month where we're only doing movies that repeat a word.
Yeah.
Wild Wild West, Mad World.
Yeah.
I was thinking we should do
And
another,
Rat Race. It's alliteration.
Yeah, that
It's
counts.
fine.
in the same way that we did a Tucci month.
Yeah.
I was thinking about a Tatum month. Which we already did Magic Mike, but I think that it'd be nice to theme another month of episodes.
We were talking, I think it is time to do
think it's
Kelsey
time.
Hasn't Seen month.
Yeah, I think it is.
Now, these aren't explicitly guilty pleasures, but these are just cinema classics that it's criminal at this point that Kelsey has not seen.
Kelsey's blind spots.
Kelsey's blind
Okay.
spots.
Well, that feels more of like a personal. But it's also, we're coming up on our 100th episode, which no one acknowledged in Goofy's fat ass. And I said
Our
we should
group
do
chat.
something special for that.
Yeah.
Like release some fucking merch, maybe.
We should do a live episode.
That'd be sick.
I love how you both look at each other like it's one of y'all's jobs to do
I think
it,
we're
and
both
you
trying to
think it's
decide
the
whose
other
job it is.
person.
We're both
It's like that
We're both
meme
trying to
of-
wonder,
like,
is
that
that
meme of
do I
P.
do that, or does he
or
do
does he
that?
give the power? But like you, like every time we say
I
it,
can tell you that if
Yeah.
it's left to me, it will continue to not get
No,
done.
Miles?
I'll get it done.
You wanna
Will
right
you
now
actually?
Yeah.
start an email thread, or why don't you email me to start an email
No,
thread?
don't do that because he doesn't fucking do it.
No, I will. If
No,
it's in my
100%.
inbox, I will do it.
You've
I'll tell you
missed
what.
it before.
We will have Guilty Pleasures merch
For the 100th episode
by the end of
release?
the year.
No,
Well,
Miles. It's
I think we
February.
should-
It's the beginning of the
We
year.
also have to do a brainstorm because we got a lot of irons in the fire. A Tucci
What do
month
you
shirt
mean a break? We already know.
for what the merch
First
should
of
be.
all, it's a sticker that says "Guilty Whore." Then we have a T-shirt that says "Guilty Horridge," and it's
Guilty
a
Horridge.
bowl of porridge. We've already
Yeah.
talked about this.
See, this is why I haven't emailed our merch
And then we
company.
have Mi Familia, Guilty Pleasures Familia, in the style of a race.
Why don't we just pick
Fast and
one?
Furious
Why don't we
shirt.
pick one?
Yeah, I
And by the
agree.
way, a Tucci month merch would be really good. I
Wait.
rode Tucci month, and all I got was a stupid T-shirt.
That's pretty funny. But I think it should
It's
be
2
Familia.
o'clock somewhere.
It's
Tucci
Tucci
clock
somewhere
somewhere.
was going to be the thing.
I think it should be Familia merch.
Channing Tatum kissed me on the mouth. I don't know.
Alden Ehrenreich is
Yeah.
too good of an actor.
Yes.
He plays the son of Ray Liotta. He's the drug kingpin's son.
Yeah.
He's just lost his wife. We meet him in a bar. He is depressed. He's crying. He's teamed up in like this little buddy comedy duo with O'Shea Jackson. Alden Ehrenreich just absolutely tears up every moment of screen time that he's on, and it made me remember, oh right, there was a moment where he was Hollywood's next chosen child.
Yeah, he was
Really?
he was the guy. That's why he got Han Solo.
He was like, there were like 3 years before he was even in a movie. Hollywood was like, oh yeah, no, this guy's about to change Hollywood.
Yeah.
No, he's the fucking one.
And now he's in a movie called Cocaine Bear, which is, I mean, it's not sad or anything, but it's
not right.
Still, it's not right, but it still shows off his talent in a way where it's just like, even if I had no power or anything like that, I would still try my hardest to get this person in movies.
And what I love is seeing him in this movie. He goes, I don't care that it's called Cocaine Bear.
Yeah.
I am going to prepare.
Yeah, I'm gonna
and
act
I am
my
going to
ass off.
fucking bring
Yeah.
it.
honestly, he was my least favorite part of the movie.
What are you?
What
Are
are you
you out of
talking
your
about?
fucking mind?
I think the storyline that they gave him of like the dead wife being like he's in mourning, which really confused the shit out of me because they introduced that storyline right after the guy, the pilot of the plane who drops all the cocaine, dies. So when he's like, your son's still in mourning, Julia just died. I was like, the guy from the plane's name with Julia? Why was he so connected to that
so
guy?
he was just
So
like-
me thinks he's gay for like 20 minutes into the movie until
Oh.
he says, her name was Julia. I go, there was a woman on the plane too? When are we
This is absolutely a you problem.
Yeah, well, I didn't care. The thing I liked about it was that he was anti the cocaine family business.
Yeah.
And
I
he
thought
was
that was funny.
anti-violence the whole time, which was very funny because he's
Yeah.
like a gangster, quote unquote, and he's like, maybe
No
let's leave guns out of
guns.
this. And he's
Right.
like, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think he's just such a great actor.
He was really good in all of his scenes. Even like I think that the switch of him being sad and then him fucking shitting on O'Shea Jackson for not getting 20 questions.
Yeah, that
not
was
getting the
cute.
answer where he's just like, listen, you're so bad at this game. And then he's just still sad the entire time.
The
But, like,
third
switch
guy
was
that
nice.
they add on to that duo.
Oh
So
my
you think
God.
it's like a buddy, like good guy, bad guy, like silly straight man, whatever scenario. And then they add on this drug of a human being.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
the guy from Euphoria that plays Sky or whatever his name is.
Mm.
you
and-
said that yesterday, and I didn't.
Yeah,
because
because he comes on screen with like a choker, like rave necklace, and like kind of a tight T-shirt, and I'm like, this guy looks like he's from fucking Euphoria with his like bleach blonde hair,
And
and,
then
he
he was.
Are
And
you
he was.
sure?
Yes, and
I'm gonna look it up. I don't
he
believe
is. He is so funny,
Oh
and
my
you
God.
talked about this a little bit when we got out of the movie theater. Like the comedic timing of everyone in this ensemble, but especially those three, were my favorite part of the film.
I have a theory that I think that O'Shea Jackson
you have
and
a theory that you think this?
wasn't. I didn't misspeak.
Get his ass, dude.
I did not
Get
misspeak.
his
Theory
ass.
that he thinks
I have a theory.
that you think.
Okay, fuck off. I have a theory that the Alden Ehrenreich and O'Shea Jackson role in the spec was written with Danny McBride as O'Shea Jackson and James Franco in mind.
Oh yeah, because
as
of
those two. Pineapple Express. They
Yeah.
have this like recurring gag bit where O'Shea Jackson just keeps getting wounded again and again and again.
Yeah.
And I'm like, where have I seen this in a drug
Yeah.
movie before? It's Pineapple Express. It's
Right.
red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my theory.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair because it's Danny McBride. No, not Danny McBride. Craig Robinson
There it is.
and his partner.
You're right.
That's who I kept thinking about
Yeah.
in those two scenes or
Yeah.
whatever, where he's just like, I don't want to do this. I want to get home to my kids.
Yes.
I have a family at home. My wife is killing me. She's on my back. I got to get home, and then he just kills him at the end.
Yeah.
That's the relationship I kept thinking about.
You really
in
touched
Pineapple
on like
Express.
every relationship in this. Like you get the two best friends that are criminals. You get the mom with the daughter.
Yeah.
The two kids who are like, are they just developing crushes on each other? Like what's their relationship?
Yeah.
And you get like the detective. You get the cop you get the detective with his relationship to the dog. You get the
Yeah.
father son. Like you
Isaiah
got
Whitlock Jr.
so
Isaiah
many
Whitlock Jr.
relationship
Shit.
stories. Shit. in
Yeah,
this
by the way, we
film.
haven't mentioned you have Isaiah Whitlock Jr. from The Fucking Wire in this
Yeah,
movie.
it's
Yeah.
pretty-
You got character actress Margot Martindale in
Oh,
this fucking movie.
Fuck yes.
Which actually I think what is crazy, we haven't talked about the Cocaine Bear yet. And
No.
we should talk about the Cocaine Bear because Margot Martindale has what I think is by far the best scene of this movie.
Oh,
Yes.
And it is
Oh
when
my
you see the
God.
Cocaine Bear going crazy. She opens the door, or she's in a cabin, and you have these two druggy guys. And she's like, there's this confusion where the druggy guys think that she's talking about a human, about O'Shea Jackson,
Yeah.
and she's talking about the bear.
Yeah.
And she goes, open the door, and I'm going to shoot him. He's like, you're going to shoot him? He's like, yeah.
He's like, he took a bite out of my ass.
yeah,
And
he's just
you're
like, wow,
what?
he took the whole bite.
And he's like, this guy's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
She's just been thrashed around like Margot Martin. I mean, you
She's
just
on
watched
a mission
the
to
Cocaine
kill
Bear.
this bear.
You just watched the Cocaine Bear run up a tree and shred
Maul.
Jesse Tyler Ferguson to
Maul.
pieces.
Oh my
The
God.
gore
Yeah.
in this, we'll give it
So
its own
crazy.
moment. Carry
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
so she's holding the gun, and he opens the door, and
he goes,
he sees, that's a fucking bear.
That's a fucking bear.
And then she I think, I don't remember if she tells him to move or not. She
the
just
gun.
shoots, but misses the bear and blows a hole through his head.
Throws a full hole through his head. Exit wound is on full display.
Is as if she had a 12-gauge shotgun. This man's
then,
brains is
but
gone.
she had like a fucking magnum in her. A hand cannon.
Yeah.
And she shoots, misses, blows
And
this
just
poor kid's
immediately
face
goes,
off.
I didn't mean to do that.
And then the other kid is drenched in his
shock.
his buddy's blood, and they're all just screaming. If anybody has seen the SNL sketch Mr. Bunting,
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
it is exactly like that, and everybody's screaming and losing their minds, and then the bear goes in and like wreaks havoc.
Yeah.
It's so fucking funny.
Oh,
Well, and then
that's not even the best part of her story. You get her who, like, the camera disappears from this story for a little bit, and when you come back to it, it's an ambulance showing up to the cabin, and you're like, oh, finally, they're gonna get saved. And the paramedics come in, and she plays the park ranger. She's on the ground, and she's wounded, and you're like, oh my God, what's
this
wrong
moment's
with her?
incredible. I was like,
and
where are you going?
this might have been my favorite part of the film.
this rules.
And you're like, oh my God, obviously time has passed. It looks like she's been attacked by the bear, and the paramedic runs over to her and is like, it's okay, we're here, what happened? And you hear the paramedic take out a stethoscope and hold it up to her heart, and she's trying to say something, and she can't get it out because she's in shock, and you just start hearing her heart beating faster and faster, and the other paramedic's like, what happened in here? And goes to open the door, and her heartbeat is ringing in your ears, and something from the shadow comes out, and it cuts back to her laying on the ground, and she just takes the stethoscope from the nurse and whispers, bear. And the bear fucking jumps out of the dark corners with cocaine all over its face, mauls the door off the fucking hinges, and you're just like, let's fucking go. You think we're done there? We're not. A fight ensues. The girl paramedic gets the ranger on a strapped board like that's in an ambulance. Thank you. It wasn't a stretcher. It was like an emergency evacuation board. Thank you very much. Stretcher. What they do when like you break your neck? You know, they staple you in. So you get this chase scene in the ambulance where homegirl is strapped into the stretcher. She
Character actress Margot Martindale.
Yeah. Oh, the small tidbit: the bear is addicted to cocaine at this point, but it's getting cocaine from these little baggies.
That's all across the park.
That's all across the park. They look not little baggies; they look like small duffel bags.
So
bricks.
The bricks. Yeah. And the medical truck had
ambulance?
a bunch.
The ambulance.
The ambulance.
I think the word you're looking for is an ambulance.
The medical truck. I'm trying to quickly get this
You
out so that
dumb
you
bitch.
can finish. Whoa.
You were all over Kelsey for stretcher.
For stretcher. Yeah.
I said like medical board.
We're all
medical truck.
We're
So
all
the
high
car
off
wheels
this-
are spinning.
Yeah, we're high off this movie, guys.
The truck has a
The ambulance has a
cocaine
bunch of
in
these
it.
tiny duffels, so that the bear sees the duffels
Chasing
and chases the ambulance.
And you get a bear chasing a fucking ambulance. The back doors are open,
Yeah.
so Margot Martindale is strapped to the medical board. She's trying to shoot the fucking bear.
Get out of the fucking way!
And the bear jumps into the ambulance to attack a paramedic.
Big
and
trailer moment.
the ambulance slams on its brakes to try and get the bear out. And Margot Martindale's medical board comes flying out of the ambulance with her strapped to it. And she lands face first. Forehead down into the pavement, and you get a shot of her forehead scraping down to the bone.
To the
It's
nuts.
not as gross
to
as
the
Kelsey's
bone.
described.
Yes, it's the worst part of the gore of the film,
It's, I mean,
which
when,
we have to talk about.
when this movie's cooking, It is giving you.
It's running.
You
on all
were not
cylinders.
expecting forehead being grinded against
No.
gravel.
Yeah.
And you were not expecting a man to have his stomach torn open by the bear's cocaine fingernails
Yeah.
and his gut spill out, and then
Yeah.
the tiny bear cubs, which, spoiler alert, there's tiny bear cubs that are also addicted to cocaine,
Hilarious.
eat his small intestine while he's still alive.
Delicious, called shortbread.
Yeah.
When this movie is cooking, it is giving
Sweet
you
bread, not
schlock.
shortbread.
You're right, sweet bread.
Sweet bread.
Oh my God!
What
Zach
a
did it
fucking
too!
dumb
Oh my
Dumb
God!
bitch.
You don't know the
Kids
Did
don't
you
do
intestinal
just say the
food?
Don't
medical
do drug-
bread?
When this movie is cooking, it is
Cocaine.
giving you B movie schlock, awesome, over the top gore, which I adore. It's such a delight to watch.
It's gross.
Splat stick, comedic, over the top gore. You know, I've seen it described as like, you know, the Tarantino gore in Kill Bill, sort of. But I'm a huge fan.
Yeah.
I do, frankly, my critique is I think the movie doesn't do it enough.
Yeah.
There is a
no.
glorious 20-minute run in the middle where it fully goes Cocaine Bear and gives you exactly what you want.
I wish that was the entire movie.
I wish it were the whole thing.
I wish it was the entire movie.
The bear wasn't introduced fast
Quick
enough.
Nothing
Yeah.
was introduced fast enough. I
Yeah.
feel like the first act of the movie was boring as shit.
Yeah.
I was fully bored. I was like, what? I don't
Is
care.
that why? And can I reveal this? Can I expose you for a second?
Oh yeah.
Garrick, you are a movie texter.
Yeah.
Oh!
You are not
Oh my
even just a
God.
movie. You are a movie Instagramming, watching stories.
Whoa.
I was
I kept looking over and I kept like dramatically looking over at him, and he was so engrossed in his phone he didn't even see me doing this bit over and over again.
I
Wow.
was fully
My jaws dropped.
I'm so sorry.
I think
was-
it's also because you're on drugs.
I was on no, I wasn't.
Oh.
It didn't hit yet because I was bored. I was bored. I was just like of course, usually you respect the movies, the theater.
This was 5 p.m. on a Thursday.
Yeah, it's 5
Yeah.
p.m. on
We also
Thursday.
had
We were
the
in
luxury
that
theater.
nice grove, yeah, where
Where
you're
it's
like,
like-
you have full walls.
You have your
between
own section
yeah.
between
Yeah.
people, so it wasn't
Yeah.
a nuisance to other people.
recliners.
Yeah.
I was just shocked. I was like, "We're watching a movie,
Yeah,
in a
I-
theater."
I clocked that it was
A slow first.
it
act.
was a slow first act, and I was like, as soon as we get
I'll
to the
be
bear,
back.
I'll
Yeah,
be back.
you
I'll
knew
come
when
back.
the
I'll-
cocaine was kicking in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So once that started, phones away. That shit was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But I think that it took so long to get into, or it felt so long when in actuality it's probably like
It's a 95-minute movie.
Yeah.
What
yeah,
was
it's nothing.
what I think they did a good part, and I said this to you guys when we were walking out, is that they keep the cocaine bear as a scary monster for like the first act. Like
Yeah.
the thing that made me laugh the hardest was the first time that you're watching two characters in frame in like a 2-shot, and you know that the bear is coming, and then you just see it in the distance zoom across the screen
Yeah, that
like
was
a big
funny.
black
In the
blur.
background. Yeah,
And it
that
was
super
so
fun.
funny to see a bear moving that quickly.
Yeah,
Knowing
because
it was on
it's
cocaine.
fucking high. It was like even at the beginning where you see him rip apart the campers
Yes.
or the hikers, and when they first lay eyes on it, it's like rubbing its back on the tree,
no, it's
weird,
banging
and then
its
it starts
head.
banging its head. It's just like, oh fuck, I need to get these fucking movie ideas out, like that type of like manic energy of a
it was
cocaine person.
so
Now,
funny.
I felt this is too real for a podcast about a movie called Cocaine Bear, but I felt that it had a tonal inconsistency at times. And I'm wondering if you guys, as movie goers, did you crave what I craved? I kind of wanted to see the Cocaine Bear snort a line.
It did.
It did.
No, it ate,
No.
and it
It snorted-
sniffed,
No,
but it did
it
not
snorted-
make a
snorted
line.
multiple
It did.
lines.
What are you
It
talking
snorted
about?
it off of the dead guy's
Yes.
foot.
Yeah, it snorted it a couple times.
after a foot came off, like I guess
was
it
a
was
line
just,
on the
yeah, it was a
leg,
line
and
on
he
the leg, and it
snorts it
snorted.
off.
I was on Instagram. I'm so sorry.
Yeah,
Oh my
it's
God.
fine. I understand.
But yes, it did eat it more than it snorted. I did want to see him take his tiny credit card out.
Yeah.
and
I
chop
wanted it to
up.
be a little. I mean,
That's too
because here's the thing: the
cartoonish.
movie, like B movies, are not funny on purpose. They are earnest, and they really want to take themselves seriously. This did not. This knew it was a joke. It had comedic scenes. Margot Martindale and Jesse Tyler Ferguson are like doing bits and not acting
Yeah.
the way that real people act. The introduction of the bear, like he's banging his head. So it knew it was a comedy, which then to me, if you're going to be a comedy, go be a comedy, be goofy, be Wet Hot American Summer with crazy violence.
No, but I have to disagree with you because I think if it would have like made a line with its hands, we would have been like, boo. It genuinely was like, how would a bear get into cocaine? It would eat it and it would sniff it out of the air.
But if you're going to do that movie, then you can't also do schlocky little comedy scenes.
Oh, see, I thought it worked. I thought like her as a like annoying park ranger Karen and Jesse Tyler Ferguson as like a goofy weird woods guy. I felt like it worked because then you have like 80s mom. You get like the criminal, like the Raylia. Like I don't know, it worked.
It did feel very 80s. We should talk about, you may be shocked, Elizabeth Banks directed a movie called Cocaine Bear, which is like crazy. How did that happen? Then from the opening moment of the movie, you go, oh yeah, of course. There's no one better for this because the opening moment is hard rock 80s. You have a guy who is like, woo! Just like on cocaine in a plane, loving life. And you go, oh yeah, she's a child of the 80s.
Yeah.
I'm going to assume probably did a bunch of cocaine as a hot young person.
Yeah.
And like, I can just imagine her walking into a pitch room and killing it.
Oh, she has the energy and like the experience and the comedy chops. Like I forget how great of a comedian she is to handle that pitch.
She kind of reminds me of an alt universe. You, Kelsey?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Nicest thing you've ever said to me. Oh my God. I will never recover.
Because like, like a cool comedian who's also like, oh, by the way, actually, I'm very talented behind the camera and that's what I'm going to do.
That's me.
Put your foot down.
Okay, I'm glad we got that on film.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And she's a business lady. She's making smart money moves. But the first thing I leaned over to Garrick said was, put your fucking phone away. But the first thing I leaned over to Zach and said was, this is actually really well directed. Because the shots this girl is using, the thriller, but even Tarantino-esque camera movements, it was upside down. It was giving drama. It was giving dark at times.
Yeah.
I was like, wait, this is like fun visually too, beyond it being about a cocaine bear.
When watching movies, I usually don't notice shots, which I usually don't notice camera angles and like moving the camera and all that stuff, unless it's like, it's a shaky cam or like it's like upside down or something like that, or like this is a weird.
I mean, really, you shouldn't notice it, right? You should get caught up in the emotion, and then later you go, "Oh, this is how they made me feel that way."
Right. But the thing I did notice is how poorly edited it was. Ooh. I did not like the editing at all. I thought that it stepped on a lot of jokes, and it almost felt like they were cutting around people's poor performances.
There's a moment in the movie where I could tell that there was a sloppy out of a scene.
Yeah.
And I could tell, oh, you cut this movie down.
Yeah, you cut it down for sure.
What was that part?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. It was when they said, remember what happened to...
Oh, there's some weird fucking flashbacks,
there was a
too.
weird flashback that they did.
They did like it was three times for no reason. And it's not, they don't do flashbacks as a joke. They just do a flashback because...
to get rid of a character.
No, yes. They go, they say a line of like, that traumatized me, like that...
Yeah, like the bear. You saw what the bear did to that guy,
and then it flashes back to them on the way, seeing a dead body.
See, and you were like, "Wait, when did that happen?
Why did that happen? Why would you do that?"
They did flashbacks just to cover their ass for exposition.
Yeah, it was a little.
I just
jarring.
didn't. Yeah, there were some choices, I guess, in the editing that just didn't work at all. It felt shoehorned. It felt like studio notes. It felt like not someone creative's fault. It felt like a corporate decision.
Yeah, like we need to explain this.
Or it could be this isn't working. How do we fix it?
Yeah, that's true.
That to me feels like what it was, because there were scenes that was like, hey, this is taking too long. This isn't really hitting.
Yeah,
just get out quicker.
Let's just get some. That part really took me out because one of the things that I liked so much of it was everybody's timing with each other, and like that felt great. But again, when it's edited out or down, it takes away from the performance of the characters between each other. So it's almost as if they didn't have chemistry with one another, and they were editing around that.
It did feel like different like different relationships all kind of like when they
Rat
came
race.
together at the
Yeah, rat
end,
race. But
it did feel like weird. They were like,
That's fair.
what's a mom doing up here in the
Yeah.
bear caves? It's like, what?
That's fair to have that like weird, like, why are you guys here? Why is everybody in this room together? But when two of the characters who are on the journey together are having a weird chemistry moment, I'm like, all right, well, what happened between these two people? They seem like they don't really like each other. And that's where, like, again, the editing between the two and like editing around and like it being weirdly offbeat didn't work.
What
as
characters are you talking about? I'm curious.
I think the main two, the drug dealer and the son.
Yeah.
I think he was. I mean, they were both acting pretty well, but I don't know, man. Like, it felt like certain things that like O'Shea Jackson was doing. Everything was like pretty funny, and then it would cut away from him really quickly to like, I forget the other guy's name. Alden. Yeah, Alden's reaction to it of him just being like mopey and sad. It's just like, why are you cutting away from that?
Yeah.
Like, this is funny. It's like him
Not,
beating
like,
somebody's ass.
realistic,
Like,
yeah.
let's just watch that for a second, and then they just cut into him like in the truck or like walking in and being like, why did you shoot him? What's going on? Why did you beat these people up?
It's
So-
not a perfect movie,
Yeah.
but what I do think it's a triumph of is proving definitively that every scene is made better with a cocaine bear.
Yes.
There
when
is
he's not.
there's
when,
a climax towards the end of the movie where the bear's gone for a little while, and honestly, I thought this was one of the best executed scenes because I was fully enveloped in the action. You have Isaiah Whitlock Jr. as this FBI
detective,
agent.
yeah.
He's on top of a gazebo. He has the cocaine. They're doing a standoff where O'Shea Jackson has a gun. He has a gun. There's a Alden Ehrenreich and the guy from Euphoria are on the ground. They're all like, okay, hands up. It's good drama. I'm invested. And then a cocaine bear enters.
Like, what could make this scene? What could be the only thing that could fuck up one of these characters succeeding?
And it kind of actually is like, it's a great, beautiful metaphor for writing, then taken literally. Is like, you have a scene, introduce a cocaine bear and see what happens.
Yeah.
And in this movie, they get to literally do that.
Yeah.
And
it's
that
kind of beautiful.
was my favorite reveal of the entire movie, was in that mixture of that moment. The bear, spoiler alert, like passes out because it's like fucked up from all the cocaine. It has a crash and it falls asleep on Alden, and Alden is stuck underneath this bear, and they're arguing about the bear, and they're like, just flip him over. And he goes, her. And he goes, what? He goes, flip her over. The bear's a girl. And I laughed my ass off because what is funnier than an apex predator male cocaine bear? A fucking female cocaine bear. Like, that made me piss my pants laughing. And then I'm laughing, and he goes, how do you know it's a girl? And he goes, because her vagina's on my ear. Like,
oh, my ear.
like,
I thought he said my face.
imagining like the vagina of a cocaine bear. It was just so funny. That moment gave me so much joy and laughter and made me really believe like this is the most realistic thing out of such an unrealistic scenario. But truly the most unrealistic thing of this entire movie was how good of a mother that cocaine bear was as a technical coke addict.
Yeah.
She
I
showed
think it
up
was-
for her kids. She protected them. She made sure that they were taken care of. That was not, come on.
Yeah.
Cocaine bear, if it's going to be a cocaine bear, it should be in a 12-step program.
I did like the
Should be
comparison
losing.
between once you saw the cocaine bear as a mama bear and with her cubs. It like the next scene was Carrie Russell with her cubs or with her kids, and it was just really, it was like a nice little moment.
Mama bear.
Mama bear, but also like back to these kids, the little boy. It was so fucking funny. I don't know who was writing his lines or who was giving him direction. I mean, Elizabeth Banks was, but I feel like he was taking direction and just like knocking that shit out of the
he was
fucking
like, watch
park.
this, one take wonder.
Yeah. He was just like this. He wasn't dumb,
No.
but he was like.
He was like a
lightly
cherub.
naive, like very
A
hilariously
cherub that
naive.
gets into cocaine.
Yeah, and it was just so like there was a scene, and he has this beautiful country accent. And there's this scene where they walk past some gore, and he sees sees it, and he's like, well, this is the type of moment that I feel like is going to scar me for the rest of my life.
He goes, well, I wish I didn't.
I didn't
wish
see
I
that.
could not remember this.
Yeah,
but
yeah, I
this
wish
seems
I
like something that stays with the man for the rest of his life.
Oh my!
It's just like a 9-year-old boy.
I'm so sorry. I wish I could forget this, but it feels like something that stays with the man
for the rest
forever.
of his life.
So good.
Oh my god!
It was so he's
Oh
so
my God.
fucking funny in
It
this
was
movie.
So, and then he's like trying to hide the fact that he did cocaine from
Yeah.
the mom.
Yeah,
and, like,
yeah.
It was just he was
Yeah.
so funny. And then at the end when he yells out like, "She's a nurse!"
Yeah.
I yelled that out, and
Yeah.
then the kid yelled it out. It was like, oh my god! It was. And then at the end, even when the camera's pulling back away and the sun's starting to rise, and they're walking out of the park
Oh
as
my
the only
God.
survivors, and they're walking past Margot Martindale's body,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
she just goes, "Don't look," and he goes, "I can't not
can't,
look."
I can't not look.
I can't
gotta
not
look.
look at her body.
Yes, I gotta look.
Because it was just so honest.
I wish I did it. I like if anybody watches Bob's Burgers,
Yes.
it is
Oh
like
my god, it's Gene.
it's like Gene. It's like
Yes.
Gene. It's like Zeke. It's
Yes.
like all of the little boys
Yes.
from fucking Bob's Burgers
Yes.
mixed in
It's so
and very
funny.
country.
It's
It's
so
so fucking funny. I think the Cocaine Bear, every time the Cocaine Bear is in the movie,
yeah.
you're just excited to see what he does
Yeah.
or what she does.
Thank
And
you.
the same thing with this little
This
boy,
baby, yeah.
this
Baby
tiny little
boy.
child.
Yeah.
He's a scene stealer for sure.
Y'all ready for some fun facts?
Let's
Can
do
I
it.
reveal mine?
No.
What do you mean no? I'm gonna
Yeah, of
reveal
course
mine.
you can.
Okay. The thing I saw. So we stayed for one post-credit sequence, which we saw, which was with the little dog.
Yeah.
And we liked that. And we stayed for the second post-credit sequence was he finally gets back to his son and everything's okay. We didn't stay for the third post-credit sequence.
What was the third post-credit sequence?
Text comes up on screen and says,
Yes.
the cocaine bear will return.
Oh, wow.
That rules.
Because unlike the true story where the cocaine bear died, our cocaine bear, she lives.
Yeah.
And frankly, I would like to see them push the Cocaine Bear further. I think this film tried to remain grounded in its nice little woodsy story.
Yeah.
It was clearly a pandemic movie, and I know that for a fact it was a film during COVID. You know, let's
I want to
go.
see more
I
animals
wish
on
they
drugs.
would.
Cocaine Bear in New York takes Manhattan.
Yeah.
Cocaine Bear in
Awesome.
space.
Yeah.
Give me like
I was-
fucking jellyfish acid.
Yeah.
Give me like
I was very much
bird
into
weed.
I was very much into the woodsy aspect of it, but I wanted it to go crazier
Yeah.
with. I wanted there to be more people in the woods for one to get like fucked up
Just
by this
mauled.
bear.
They should do Cocaine Bear in Los Angeles.
In
Yes.
Los Angeles,
It should
but,
be
like,
in the 80s in LA at like in the Hollywood Hills
Yeah.
Yeah.
in a crazy
Yeah, like-
swanky party.
Sharknado.
Or it
Yeah.
doesn't even need to be in LA. It could be like in Aspen
Joshua
at
Tree.
some like
Yeah.
really rich swanky person's party, and there's just a ton of cocaine, and you get to see a cocaine bear fuck up a bunch of rich
Yeah.
people.
That'd be awesome.
Because
Yeah.
now Cocaine Bear, her story ends with like she's a full blown addict.
Yeah,
Like,
and
her and her
that's
children are
and that's hilarious because then the bear would go and seek more out.
exactly
Right.
So we're gonna
And-
get a sequel.
Yeah, and then if more bears get into it,
Exactly.
The cocaine cubs, the little baby bears, they
They're
were
gonna
very
grow
playful on cocaine, but I wanted to see like little fucking rabbit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, fun facts. I forgot to mention this earlier, but one of the actors in this, Scott Seiss, is quite famous on TikTok. He's
Very
known
funny.
as the angry retail guy. He's
Yeah.
the
Ooh.
he's
You know those
very
video-
funny.
Which character is
He
he?
has a video. He has
One of
videos
the
where
paramedics.
he's upset that he works at a retail place where it's just like, hey, I'm taking time off, and then my manager would be like, find someone to cover your shift. He's like, that's your job, and then the music comes in, and then he's like, you
it's
think
the ding 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 ding
Yeah.
ding 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 ding. It's a trend.
It's a trend.
Okay.
It's a
Anyway,
TikTok trend.
he's phenomenal in this.
Yeah.
No
His
way, you just
face.
waved me off.
Well, whatever. It's, I'm not gonna try
No,
and
it was-
explain
it
it to
was
you. It's
very funny.
not
Oh
worth
my
our time.
gosh, look at my pocket knife.
Oh god,
Oh
Kelsey.
my god, what a brag. You just pulled that out to try to seem cool.
I
Calling it
just
out.
I
Kelsey.
just noticed I had it.
Kelsey,
in
I'm
my-
sorry. I didn't mean to wave you off. Put the knife down.
Put her
I
knife
had
away.
it in my
Like that.
pocket.
I just think his face was made for horror movies. He does such a perfect wide-eyed horror. I just thought he was great. So shout out to him. This is sadly the last movie that Ray Liotta filmed before his death. So rest in peace, Ray Liotta.
Me and Garrick agreed that this was the perfect film.
The perfect one for him to go out.
He's playing a drug lord, but in a silly comedy that people will love.
Did you not know he died, Miles?
No, I did, but I thought that Blackbird was the last.
That's a TV show.
That is his last performance.
Oh, okay, interesting.
I believe he
That was your
passed during the filming.
Oh, Blackbird?
I think
he
so,
did.
or
I mean,
or
from the way
I know
his
that TV
character-
feels like cinema, but it's not. This is a movie. You dumb
Cocaine
bitch.
Bear's better than Blackbird.
Also, I can't believe we didn't realize this. So Matthew Rice has a small role in this film. Kerry Russell, Matthew Rice, and Margot Martindale all starred on The Americans.
Wow.
I didn't click
That's
in my
awesome.
brain. How about that? So yeah, we talked about this is based on a true story. The real life cocaine bear, and I fact checked you earlier because I had read this before. He ate a bunch of cocaine and overdosed, most likely within minutes. He died
Of a heart attack.
cerebral hemorrhaging and
Oh my
respiratory
God.
and heart failure.
Yeah. He had a heart attack.
The real life bear ate $20 million worth, which would be
Oh
$55 million now.
Oh my God.
That is so much coke.
Yeah. I know when they did the autopsy, they cut the bear open and it was just like
Powder.
bricks of cocaine.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, because bears, when they're getting ready for hibernating, they just munch.
Stuff.
They eat.
Well, also think about such an addictive substance. Like humans don't rail that much coke because they know it'll kill them. But if bear doesn't know, it won't. It will kill him.
Yeah, they haven't studied it.
Yeah.
The bear
That we know of.
The bear has a name. Pablo Escobar.
No.
It is currently on display in Lexington, Kentucky at the Kentucky Fun Mall.
Is it black bear or brown bear? Because that's the best fact I learned through this movie. It's actually useful
bear.
advice.
Go ahead.
If it's brown, lay down. If it's black, fight back.
If a black bear attacks you, you gotta fight
it
back.
back.
Yeah, because they'll get scared.
They get scared.
Brown bears, though, you just
They're
lay
gonna
down.
fucking kill you.
Yeah,
And also, by
play
the way, you
dead.
can lay down, but it's a fucking moot point.
Yeah.
Why don't they teach us this shit in school? I mean, I grew up in Florida. They ain't allowed bears.
By the way, I don't know what school you went to, but they did teach
They
this.
did.
Oh. Well, we learned how to run from alligators.
Okay, Miles, where'd you go to school?
Well,
Well,
You fucking weirdo
from-
in
you
the
had
woods.
bears.
from Los
You
Angeles,
weirdo in the
born and raised here, learn that.
Well, you're close to the mountains.
yeah.
No.
Kelsey's always being like, "Why didn't they teach us this stuff in school?" And it's like, I think that they
dropped
did, and you
out.
were dropped out or not paying attention.
Correct. Checks out.
She was going on. It was filmed in Ireland.
Okay.
That's weird.
That is weird. I wonder if
is
that's
weird.
COVID protocol
I think
wise.
probably.
Yeah.
It also we didn't mention, but it starred our favorite Redbeard dude from Game of Thrones.
Yes, it did.
A torment.
Torment.
It didn't start.
Dormant. He was already funny in that show, so like
Yeah.
him crossing over to a comedy makes absolute sense.
So much sense. I also love Jesse Tyler Ferguson. I'm gonna watch
He
this
was
movie.
very funny. You should.
I fully, by the way, embarrassed until I looked up the cast to like make sure I mentioned all of them. Didn't realize it was Jesse Tyler Ferguson.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's funny.
Really?
Yeah.
I never watched Modern Family, so it's just like his face. I know him,
Oh
obviously. He's
my
super famous.
God,
I've been watching it right now.
You didn't realize it either?
the way that it holds up.
It's so fucking
It's
good.
so fucking good. I just got my cousin to start watching it, and he's
Yeah.
been texting me just quotes consistently. It's so funny. I just did a rewatch in the fall. So
Yeah.
like while I was just bored in Atlanta. Yeah.
I get mad at things for no reason, and that was a show that when it came out, I got mad at.
No,
Okay.
I know that, and I felt the same way. But I've been watching it because I wake up very early to feed my very young son, and
Daddy.
early in the morning I have like it. I just have it on,
That seems like a good. Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
so fucking
all right.
funny.
You know what? I'm in.
Cam
Oh, yeah.
is the fun. It's
Cam is so good.
He's so good. They're
And
all good. but-
the web of callbacks that they hit you with at the end is just so fucking beautiful. You like me in the same way that Seinfeld and Curb Your Enthusiasm sets up all this stuff, and then
He
it
knows
just,
how to get me interested.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Derek's
Yeah, I
like,
do.
what shows is
Hot
this fucking
words
guy?
for Zach.
yeah. I got the hotbed ready for you. Blah blah blah. But yeah, in the third act, it just like hits you over the head with all of these callbacks, and you're just like, "Fuck, that's so funny! God damn, that's so funny!" And it just builds. Modern Family does that, and it's a mockumentary as well, so you get people looking at camera.
Well, that's a great segue into our pleasure is my pleasure. Each week we went to, I
Yeah.
think that might as well. That has to be your pleasure. For the week.
I've said Modern Family.
Yeah, you
already.
said it before.
I said it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I
You
said it when I got
did?
back.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
yeah. I think it was like one of our first ones.
Yeah.
I'm going to hit you this week with a song. And I kind of mumble through it, but our pleasures, this is our things in media that we are enjoying otherwise.
Yeah.
So usually we're going to tell you about TV shows or movies that we're digging, some video games. But this is a song. My good buds, Brass Tracks, they are an incredible band.
From your wedding.
They actually, they played my fucking wedding.
It was
which was
incredible.
unbelievable.
The singer.
But Ivan is the homie, and they have a new cover out of Fall Out Boy's "Sugar We're Going Down."
Yes,
It was so
and
good.
it is. He was like, "I'm gonna make the saddest emo trumpet song of all time," and he turns "Sugar We're Going Down" into this beautiful, kind of like haunting ballad. It's out now. It's incredible. He actually, the live debut was with us at my wedding.
Imagine being so wealthy that someone debuts their song at your fucking wedding.
And it was the funnest part of the live band.
Well, he ended with it, which I'm like, that's a bold choice because it's a slow song. He was sending it to me like because we become buds and a little brag, and I was like,
Yola also is your friend who is an artist, musical artist that sat at our table.
Kelsey Darragh was at my wedding.
Yeah, did you hear?
So he was sending me the song and like little snippets of it, and I'm like, yeah, but like can't wait for the drums to like for the beat to drop and like make this like a fucking dance thing. And he's like, nah, it's gonna be sad.
Yeah,
Hell yeah.
And
it is a sad song.
Because it's a
so
sad song,
funny.
and we sang our fucking heads off.
I cannot wait for those photos and videos to come back for your wedding because we are all going to be in our prime there.
Oh yeah, we all
was
looked
a
hot
moment.
too. But anyway, it's a really good song. It's on all those streaming platforms now, so give him some love. It's great.
My recommendation this week, if you like the games Secret Hitler or Mafia,
I do.
there is a reality game show that I am trying to get cast on. This is how I've never wanted to be in reality television in my life until this show. I have binge watched 2 seasons. It is on Peacock.
Oh,
It is the American version is hosted by Alan Cumming, the actor.
wow.
It is called Traitors.
Oh yeah, I've heard of this.
Okay.
And it is a show where half celebrities, half regular civilians go into a mansion in a castle. And the first episode, they dub a couple people as secret traitors. And the entire show is about trying to figure out who the traitors are. And for every night you don't vote out a traitor, a faithful gets murdered, which is what the civilians are called. And when I tell you, this is the finale of the American version, I cried. I was standing up and I was going, oh my God. It is so good.
When you're watching,
Yes.
do you as the
You
audience
know who the traitors are.
Okay.
Because you watch the first episode, they
Yeah.
get dubbed the traitors.
Should
and they
I-
have to meet in secret.
Do you think it'd be fun to watch it and not know?
No. Because you would go crazy.
Okay.
And I would like to be cast on this show. So if you cast the traitors, this is my official request.
Wow.
Yes. I cannot recommend enough.
You should submit.
It's so fun. I either want to do that or I think I'd be really good on The Circle.
Oh yeah, you'd kill.
Because
on
I
the
like to be
circle.
alone. But I like people.
Yeah, you'd kill on the circle.
And I think I know how to manipulate the
It's-
social public
Yeah.
image enough of
But
myself.
the only thing is, if you went on as yourself, people would think you were a catfish, and they would vote you off. So that's
Really?
the only
But
downside.
here's the thing.
You look-
I think people that are catfish are real people all the time. And they're idiots.
that I mean, you've watched The Circle.
Yeah, many
they
times.
immediately don't believe
Lance
the
Bass.
famous people who are in.
Oh, I'm not famous.
Yeah, but they'd be
You're-
like, I know.
yeah,
this.
you
They've
know
had
this person.
regular
Bass.
level people from social media on there.
Somebody went in as Lance Bass, and they were like, "Absolutely the fuck not."
Well,
There's no
that's
way
'cause-
that Lance Bass could
yeah,
be in the
but-
show.
Kelsey, you are as famous as Lance Bath. I want you to look in the mirror
Thank
and
you.
say it.
Yeah,
Thank
Say
you.
it.
I am
Guys,
as-
please get me on
I
The
am.
Circle.
I am the alternate version of Elizabeth Banks, and I am also as famous as Lance Bass.
And a little gay too.
They we know someone who cast that show, and they were somewhat interested in Eugene being on the show and maybe like us. And then Eugene was like, I don't want to do it, but Zach, maybe you want to. And I'm like,
What-
maybe.
what was
And then
it?
they just never called me.
What
Oh.
for what?
The Circle.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't
Let's
say.
go in together.
The joke there was that they wanted Eugene, and then when it was me, they
Yeah,
said,
they said no.
we're good.
What if you
It's
and
a
I
working.
go in as a team and we pretend to be Eugene?
Love this.
Because
Yeah.
the both of us together know him well enough.
I think that's great.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's pitch it.
Garrick, what are you enjoying?
He already said
Or you
Modern
wanna do
Family.
No, I said Modern Family a while ago. But,
Okay, what is
it? Going on the dorky side of things.
Go figure.
Let's get it.
It's a game.
Dork.
Let's get it, bud.
Nerd.
I'm sorry.
Give
I
it.
can't help it.
Yes, you can.
But I got this game, Metroid Dread, on the Nintendo Switch,
Yeah,
and
shit slaps.
That shit slapped so fucking hard, and I didn't know that it was gonna be a.
Do you
as
have
big.
time to play video games as a father?
I played Metroid Dread like a year ago.
Yeah,
But,
it came out a year ago. I got it when it came out, and I started it, and I was like, I'm lost. I don't want to play this anymore.
Yeah.
And then I got sick, and I was like, I'm just gonna try this, and then I completed it in like a couple of days.
It's fun.
It is really fun. It's a really good time.
And in terms of your question, Zach, my routine recently is I wake up for the morning shift, which can be anywhere between 5 and 6 a.m., 7 a.m. sometimes, and I feed him, and then I put him in a baby Bjorn, and then he falls asleep. And once he's asleep, I sit at my desk and I play video games.
Hell yeah.
And he sleeps on me in his little baby carrier, and it's
do
adorable.
you live stream?
No, I'm not going to Twitch stream that, but it is nice because it's early in the morning.
A gamer in training.
And he's
Got to
asleep.
start him young.
He's asleep facing me, and I'm playing games, and it's great.
Can I tell you that I paid 50 buckaroos to I paid 50 buckaroos to download GoldenEye. They re-released the
On
N64
Switch, yeah.
GoldenEye on
Yeah.
Switch.
Yeah.
And it is so bad.
Yeah, of course.
The controls could
Terrible.
not be worse.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
the fucking big fat line of nostalgia coke that
Oh, yeah. You gotta
it
be
felt
careful.
so good. And
Yeah.
it like doesn't matter how bad it is.
Yeah.
You just go like, I remember this. I remember this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's terrible.
Absolutely.
And I'm sitting there going, I could be playing any game that's been made in the last 25 years
It's an
and it
amazing
would be
game,
better
yeah.
than this.
Yeah.
And it's still
It
You're
still
right.
hits. It
Guys,
still hits.
now is the time where we have to decide,
Oh,
was
we
Cocaine
never did
Bear
Oh,
a
yeah, we
guilty
skipped it.
pleasure,
Oh,
a
yeah.
pleasure, or just plain guilty?
thanks, Kelsey. I've
You're welcome.
been gone for a while.
Okay, you're married now.
I'm gonna call it a guilty pleasure.
I'm calling it a guilty pleasure.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm also calling it a guilty pleasure. I think that it embodies a guilty pleasure where it's
Yeah.
like, this isn't a bad movie.
It almost borderline makes me like it's too enjoyable to be guilty.
Yeah.
But it also wants to be a guilty pleasure,
Yes.
almost a little
A
too
little
hard.
too
It's
hard.
called
Yeah, it
Cocaine
wants to be a
Bear.
cult
Yeah.
classic a little
Yeah.
too much. So it's
Yeah.
like shooting for that.
But I'm happy it exists.
Yeah.
I don't know that I fully want you to see it. But if you do want to see it, you should see it in the theater because there's a joy of seeing it with
With your
people.
friends.
And there's, again, when it cooks, it's
Yeah.
firing
Oh
on
my
all
God.
cylinders.
Oh my God.
But I'm just so happy that something like Cocaine Bear exists.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want more Cocaine Bears, and I mean literally from this franchise, but also just weird, stupid movies that are not based on any IP that you don't need to see anything to go in. Like, make weird movies. I love it. We should have a lot more of this. I hope that Cocaine Bear saves cinema.
Yeah.
There's your title.
There's
I
your
think
title.
we're all obsessed with franchises in America, and we are now having to go across the pond for original content, for like original IP. Like what is it? Decision to Leave in Korea is fantastic. RRR in Nollywood, I forget what Tollywood. In Tollywood, phenomenal. So like they are taking the risks that we should have been taking. And this
But is it
movie-
us that's not taking the risk, or is it the people with the money?
It's the people with the money.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying, us as in America.
Copy that.
Yeah. But Cocaine Bear helps that.
There you go.
I didn't add to what you were saying at all.
I thought you did
You
great.
did.
Okay.
At the end of Cocaine Bear, you're just kind of tired and stop making sense. That's kind of the cocaine experience, right?
Yeah.
It's the come down is what it's called.
Calm down. We're experiencing a come down. Well, I think we call that a fucking episode.
Yeah.
Until next time.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs.
Or do. Just don't try to keep up with the bear.
Don't be a bear and do drugs.
Don't be a bear. Do stuff that grows in the ground. I'm at
Yeah.
Courtney and all things.
I'm Kelsey Darragh on all the things.
I'm Garrick Bernard on all the things.
And until next time, rawr. Rawr, I'm a bear. Rawr.
Rawr.